I was thinking about this issue of speech because I think that's something that we women struggle with, is our speaking. And I think a perfect example of a well-balanced woman in Scripture is that woman we all love to hate, the Proverbs 31 woman. But she is an ideal. She is a sound-minded ideal, and we can learn so much by looking at her. Proverbs 31:26 talks about this issue of our speech. And I want to just read it to you out of the Message, which is a modern language version. It says, "When she speaks, she has something worthwhile to say." Oh my, what a thought. Oh my goodness, I think the King James says when she opens her mouth, she opens it wisely. So I love this. When she speaks, she has something worthwhile to say, and she always says it kindly. Always. Do you always say what you need to say kindly? Oh my goodness. What an issue this is alone, to be well balanced. As I learn when to talk, when to open my mouth, because there's a time that I should say something, and then when to be quiet. And there are so many times when I need to practice the ministry of shut up. But we need to have it balanced. And I'm always getting it wrong. I'm speaking when I should be quiet, and I'm not speaking when I should be speaking. So this idea of well-balanced is so very important. The more you look at it, the more you realize how out of balance we are as a culture, as a generation, and especially as women. And right here I might point out to you, when we're talking about this issue of sound-mindedness, that it's interesting to me that in this short little passage, Titus 2, 3 through 5, that God felt it necessary to bring up this issue of sound-mindedness not once, but twice. Because it's found in the first part to teach to be sound-minded or sober, but also later on in the verse it has the word discreet. And in the original language, these two words are the same. They are this issue of being sound-minded or sober. I need, as a woman, a double dose of this, don't I? And I think you do too. We are to be sound-minded, well-balanced. Then let's look at some other synonyms. Steady, sensible, responsible. Are you steady? Or are you all over the map? Are you sensible? Does your husband look at you and say, "Are you out of your mind, woman?" Uh-huh. That could be a clue that you're not so sound-minded. Responsible. Another, of course, word, and ladies, please take these words home and get a dictionary or a thesaurus out, and you can just rabbit trail and come up with some wonderful words. Another word that came to mind for responsible is, of course, dependable. Are you dependable and responsible? Or does everybody say, "Oh, she's always going to be late. We know she's going to be late. We can just, count on it." That is not being sound-minded. The next word is self-discipline. Self-disciplined, or of course self-controlled, would be another wonderful word. Are you self-disciplined and self-controlled? Notice that little word, four-letter word, self. God will not do this for you. And so many times we spend so many hours on our prayer bones asking God, please, Lord, give me self-control, self-discipline. It's not going to happen. Have you noticed? It doesn't happen. He wants you to start to walk in this, and He will come alongside you and empower you to be that self-controlled, self-disciplined woman. But He's not going to reach out of the sky and grab that fork out of your mouth and say, I'm helping you. No, you must learn to lay the fork down and stop eating. We need to be self-controlled in these areas that are trigger areas for us as women. Food, shopping. Occasionally I will tell my husband, you were not born with the shopping gene, honey, but I was. I have to have some shopping. While that may be true, we need to learn to use self-control. So whether you're shopping in the mall or shopping on the internet, you need to have self-control. And then there's the area of hobbies or interests, where you are just that unsound-minded, not disciplined woman who is not well-balanced, and your garage is full of all of the hobbies that you have gone through. And your husband so wishes you'd clean that thing out. You have gone from, Tupperware to Pampered Chef to scrapbooking and to, knitting and crocheting and sewing and, we go hopscotching around and we don't show self-control. We're not being sound-minded. Then, the next synonym is calm. Are you calm, cool, and collected? Is that the way you came in this morning? We need to control ourselves. Galatians 5:23, the last fruit of the Spirit is self-control, and this is part of having that calmness about our nature. If we are calm and quiet, 1 Peter 3:4 talks about the quiet and gentle spirit. If we are calm and quiet, we are peaceful and therefore powerful. We lose our power, ladies, when we lose our calmness and lose our quietness. And by the way, in 1 Peter 3:4, the word quiet there does not mean just not speaking. It also has this idea of calmness to it. And then this last one. If we are going to be a sound-minded woman, we need to learn to not be easily offended. Oh my goodness. Ladies, if you are moms here, start teaching your little ones, especially your little girls, and as they grow into their middle years and teenage and young person years, teach them this idea of not being easily offended. I spent my whole teenage years in my room boo-hooing because, someone had hurt my feelings. And I carried this over into my marriage, and everything hurt my feelings. What havoc this one trait causes in marriages, in relationships, friendships, in the church, where